I want to tell you about the message I almost didn't open. It arrived at 2:11 a.m. on a Sunday. No subject line. Sender name, I didn't recognize. First line read, I have never written this down before. I'm not sure why I'm sending it to you. Please don't make me regret it. I receive many messages now. After I began sharing stories like these, the inbox changed. Messages became stranger, more precise, sometimes more desperate. People carrying something heavy, something they cannot name, needing to place it anywhere. Even an anonymous inbox at 2 a.m., I opened it anyway. What I read that night pulled me into something much larger. A path that stretched almost a full year. One story opened into another. Then another. Eventually, a woman in an Indiana hospital room broke down on the phone. Asked me to wait while she stepped outside so coworkers wouldn't hear. Then a man in New Mexico who told me he'd waited 3 long years for someone to finally ask the right question. 5 stories, each from someone who, for reasons that will become clear, had never told the complete version to another living person before tonight. A few asked me to protect their names. Some asked to alter the city. One asked me to wait until a certain person in her life had passed away before sharing. Afraid of what that person might do if they learned she'd finally spoken. I have kept every promise I made. Everything you're about to hear is exactly as it was told to me. No exaggeration. No invention. My name is irrelevant. What matters is what these 5 people carried. And what they still carry. Even now, let's begin. Story 1. The Night I Proved I Was Right. Submitted by Renata, 41, Portland, Maine, 2019. Renata told me she never wanted to become someone who believed in things like this. I was always the person at the dinner table who calmly explained every ghost story away. Pareidolia. Sleep paralysis. Fear-twisting memory. I had a whole routine. I was smug about it. I'm ashamed of that smugness now. In 2019, she and her husband Joel bought a 1920s craftsman house on the quiet outer edge of Portland, Maine. Bought it well below market because the elderly previous owners had moved abruptly to assisted living. Estate wanted a quick close. House needed work, but the bones were beautiful. Renata, an architect, fell in love with the structure immediately. Within 2 weeks, neighbors casually mentioned the house had a reputation. Nothing theatrical. Just the kind of quiet information. Small streets share. House belonged to the Velde family over 60 years. After the Veldes left, someone on the block said one of their grown children, a son named Gerald, had lived there alone for about a decade, then left under circumstances no one ever fully explained. Renata dismissed it. She was tearing out a kitchen. No time for neighborhood whispers. First incident came in November, 3 months after moving in. She woke at 4 a.m. One door stood open that she knew. She had closed. Not terrifying. Old houses, drafts, settling. She could rationalize it all, but she felt something else. The hallway beyond that open door was slightly warmer than the bedroom. Not much, just enough to feel like breath on skin. She told Joel. He reminded her she was supposed to be the pareidolia expert. She agreed. Closed the door. Went back to sleep. December brought the second incident. Renata, working late in her home office, converted sunroom at the back. Heard rhythmic knocking from the basement directly below. Slow, deliberate, 3 knocks. Pause, 3 knocks. She went down. Nothing there. She knocked 3 times on the floor herself. Went upstairs. From below. 3 knocks in reply. I said out loud to the empty room, "That's pipes." And I believed it, because the alternative was something I'd spent 40 years being too intelligent to accept. Plumber came next week. Found nothing wrong. Then January. The third incident. The one she had never told anyone, not even Joel until very recently. She woke at 3:30 a.m. A man stood at the foot of her bed. Not shadow, not vague shape. Her mind turned into a figure. A man. Standing very still. Facing her, arms at his sides, older, late 60s maybe, heavy work pants, work jacket. He wasn't looking directly at her, gaze fixed just past her head, at the wall behind. She didn't scream, didn't move. Fear wasn't panic, more like the stillness required when witnessing something fragile, something that must not be startled. He stood there, maybe 30 seconds. Then he simply wasn't, not like he walked away. Space he occupied just recalibrated, as though he had never been solid. She lay awake until dawn, convincing herself it was hypnagogic hallucination, recognized sleep phenomenon. By breakfast, she had almost convinced herself. 6 weeks later, she found a photograph, tucked inside wall cavity behind drywall she removed during kitchen renovation. Small faded print, older man, standing very still, work clothes, back of the house, arms at sides, looking just past camera, at something behind the photographer. Renata researched, believes the man is Gerald Veldy, son who lived and died in that house, 2004, alone. 'Cause never made public. I still don't believe in ghosts. I need to be honest. I believe there are things science hasn't named yet. But what I know is this. The man I saw was staring at something on the wall behind my head. Weeks later, I opened that wall, and I found him waiting inside it. I think he was trying to show me where he was. Host bridge number 1. There's a kind of horror that has nothing to do with being chased. Nothing to do with teeth or claws. Renata was never threatened. Whatever stood at her bed, whatever left the photograph, it wasn't trying to hurt her. And somehow that makes the memory heavier, not lighter. Because it wanted to harm you is a story you can close. It only wanted to be seen, to be found. That story stays open forever. The next account brings danger, real human danger, and whatever else was present that night. It almost feels secondary to what it revealed about the man who lived through it. His name is Marcus, 52 now, lives outside Albuquerque. For 20 years he blamed himself for what happened to his younger brother on a camping trip in 1998. He never told the complete story because he feared the full version would prove he was right to feel guilty. It doesn't prove that. But it is still terrifying. Story 2. The Thing That Kept My Brother Alive. Submitted by Marcus, 52, Jemez Mountains, New Mexico, 1998. Marcus and Danny were experienced. Marcus, 25, Danny, 19. Late September. 4-day backcountry loop in the Jemez they had done variations of before parents' new route. Emergency contacts in place. Not reckless. Second night, Danny slipped crossing creek on wet rock. Full ankle break. Couldn't bear weight. Understand the stakes. 12 miles from trailhead. Danny couldn't walk. I couldn't carry him 12 miles. I had to leave him with tent, water, food, and go for help at night. Because waiting for dawn might mean waiting too long. Marcus left, 11 p.m. Headlamp, new trail. Moving fast. 2 miles in, headlamp died. Backup light in pack, but in darkness. Fumbling. Knocked it. Heard it hit ground, roll. Searched hands and knees 10 minutes. Never found it, had to decide. Kept going, no light. Near new moon. Forest pitch black. Trail only faint lighter stripe between trees. I'm not someone who panics. I stayed calm. Told myself stay on trail. Trust feet. Keep moving. 45 minutes. It worked. Then, movement. Parallel 30 feet right. Keeping pace. Stopped. It stopped. Started again. It matched. Changed speed. It matched exactly. Told himself deer. Maybe bear. Black bears common there. Kept walking. Sound followed 20 more minutes. Then it spoke. Not words. Sounds shaped like speech. Cadence of language. No meaning. Register slightly wrong. Close now, 10, 15 feet. Marcus ran. Half mile. Tripped. Fell. Lay breathing. Listening. Nothing. Even insects silent. Got up. Kept going. Reached trailhead 2 a.m. Got help. Danny evacuated by 6 a.m. Treated, full recovery. I never told anyone about the thing in the trees. Not Danny. Not parents. Not rangers. Filed it under fear hallucination. Left it there 20 years. 2018, family reunion. Uncle. Mother's brother. Grew up near those mountains. Got drunk. Told trail stories. Casually mentioned phrase old Jicarilla Apache ranch hands used for a stretch of the Jemez. Marcus asked what it meant. Uncle looked at him. Said, "The thing that walks next to you in the dark to see if you're worth eating." Then, "Why? You look like you've heard of it." Marcus thinks about Danny's broken ankle every single day since. If he hadn't fallen, we'd both have been in those woods that night. I wonder what the sound would have done with two of us to choose from. I don't know if I believe anything supernatural, but I believe in that sound. And I believe it made a choice about me. I'm still not sure whether it decided I was worth chasing or not worth the effort. Host bridge number 2. Fear has categories. The animal fear of being hunted. Marcus felt that. The slow fear of the unexplainable. Renata carried that. Then there's another fear entirely, fear of being known, intimately. By something that should not know you and not watched. Not hunted, known. The next story belongs to that category. From a woman named Deb, 44, Indianapolis. She told me this is the story she's been afraid to speak aloud since 2016. Every time she tried, people looked at her the way she now realizes they would. They didn't believe her. Story 3. It Knew My Mother's Name. Submitted by Deb, 44, Indianapolis, Indiana, 2016. Deb describes herself as practical. Said it unprompted. Made it clear it matters to her. Logistics manager. Runs team of 14. Deals in facts. Schedules. Things are either true or false. I'm telling you this because I need you to understand I'm not someone who imagines things or embellishes. And because what I'm about to say, I know exactly how it sounds. I've lived across from how it sounds for 8 years. 2016. Deb's mother Vivian, early Alzheimer's. Still alone in small Southside ranch house Deb grew up in. Family starting longer-term plans. Deb visited 2 to 3 times weekly. May arrived. Mother unusually bright, calm. Greeted at door. My friend was just here. Mother had few visitors by then. Isolated. Deb assumed neighbor church. Asked who. Vivian said, "The woman who comes at night." Deb pressed. Vivian, with clarity unusual in that stage, described woman who came after dark. Through back door Vivian left unlocked. Sat with her. Didn't speak much. Kept company. Knew things about family. About Deb, things Vivian never told her. Because woman already knew. She knew your name. Said Deborah will come tomorrow. And here you are. Deb thought confusion. Dream bleeding into reality. Installed motion detect camera app on tablet. Pointed at back door. First night. Nothing second, nothing third. 2:23 a.m. Sensor triggered. Figure. Standing outside back door. Looking in through glass. Dark. Backlit by distant streetlight. Woman-shaped. Stood 6 minutes. Then walked into darkness. Police called. Found nothing. Suggested neighbor. Wrong address. Caregiver mix-up. Not dismissive. Not alarmed. Deb changed locks. Started staying nights. Figure never returned. Mother asked several times afterward when her friend would come back. Seemed genuinely sad. Here's what I've never said aloud. Voice dropped. In those final months, Mom was often confused. Lost years. Sometimes didn't know me. But every single time she spoke about this woman, she was completely clear, lucid. Like the presence, whoever or whatever it was, made her sharp again. I used to think the horror was a stranger coming at night, knowing our names. Lately I think the real horror is that my mother looked forward to it, that whatever visited was kind to her, sat with her when she was frightened, confused, alone, made her feel seen, and I took that away when I changed the locks. Host bridge number 3. Something threads every story tonight. I've noticed it. The thing that lingers longest is never the loudest moment. Not figure at door. Not sound in trees. It's the quiet detail at the end. The one that quietly reframes everything. Renata, I think he was trying to tell me where he was. Deb, what if I took something away from her when I changed the locks? The next 2 stories carry that same weight. A detail that refuses to close. Story 4. What I Saw When I Was Under. Submitted by Terry, 36, Louisville, Kentucky, 2020. Terry had routine laparoscopic procedure. February 2020. Outpatient. Home same afternoon. Husband dropped her. Not nervous. I've been under before, 3rd time. Count backward. Wake in different room, time passed. I knew the pattern. Expected nothing else. Instead, consciousness didn't fade normally. Drug worked. No pain. Not fully in body. But I was aware. Not in operating room, aware somewhere else. I know it sounds like every near-death cliché. I'm asking you to set that aside. Because what I experienced wasn't tunnel. Wasn't peace. It was a waiting room. Specific, not dreamlike. No natural light. Lit from unseen sources. Chairs along walls. 8, 9 people. Sitting. Not speaking. Not looking at each other. Just waiting. Clock on wall. Hands frozen. What convinces me it wasn't a dream? Detail. Texture of chair arm. Linoleum floor. Small brown 10 diamond pattern. I never dream with that kind of specificity. She sat, waited, felt she was between. Direction forward not yet decided. Woman next to her spoke. First time, Terry said yes. Woman looked. Then, you're going back. Matter of fact, like bus schedule, Terry asked how she knew. You're not carrying anything yet. Woman looked away. Conversation ended. Terry woke recovery room. 4 hours later. Should have been 1. Complication. Significant blood loss. Team worked 3 extra hours stabilizing. Husband in hallway. Had been told prepare for call that never came. When she saw his face. Understood she almost hadn't survived. Recovered fully. Never told husband about room. Hasn't told him because the part lodged inside isn't survival. It's the woman. She looked tired. Not sick. Tired like very long time sitting there. Kind to me. Saw I was scared, told truth. Exactly what I needed. I asked what the woman meant. Carrying. I think everything unfinished. Everything still ongoing. All things that still need you. Quieter, and I think about her still sitting, because she said she wasn't going back. Means everything she had finished, every person, every loose end, done. Another silence. That's what I carry now. Not fear. Just weight of knowing what it means to be finished. Host bridge number 4. I don't interpret these stories. Made rule early. They aren't mine, but notice, first 4 never ended badly. Renata still lives in house. Marcus's brother lived. Deb's mother had 2 more years. Peaceful passing. Terry went home to husband. Horror isn't ending. It's texture. Detail that won't fit, moment that won't close. Last story has no ending yet. Person who sent it is still inside it. Still waiting. Her message arrived 2:11 a.m. Sunday. One I almost deleted. Name is Sarah. 29. Northern Vermont. Story 5. I think it was looking for me before I was born. Submitted by Sarah, 29, Northern Vermont, ongoing. Sarah's family on same Vermont land 5 generations. Great-great-grandmother built farmhouse. Great-grandmother died there. Grandmother born there. Mother grew up, moved after marriage. Sarah felt pull early 20s. Returned. Lived 6 years. Start with what others told me. Because I spent years thinking they were just family stories, mythology. I don't think that anymore. Grandmother. Died 2018, unsentimental woman. Said something always in Northfield. Not ghost. Not haunting presence. Watching. Came winter, frozen ground, bare trees. Stood at treeline. Looked toward house. Been there since before she was born. Her mother told her. Mother's mother mentioned in letter that still exists. We don't go near it. It doesn't come near us. That's the arrangement. Sarah never believed. Until second winter back. January. 4 p.m. Dusk. Coming from barn. Glanced north. Something at treeline. Dark against snow. Too big for deer. Too still for anything familiar. Went inside, told no one. February. Again. March again. Always dusk. Same spot. Same stillness. Gone if she looked away then back. Thought she was losing mind. Drove 2 hours. Stayed with friend weekend. Escape her own eyes. Returned. That night found something new. Small wooden stake. Edge of north field. Weathered, old tin piece hammered flat. Something scratched. Took inside, cleaned. Lamp at angle. Read it. Her name. Full legal name. Not Sarah, birth certificate name. Almost no one knows. Mother gave it. Stake not recent. Wood. Tin style, early 20th century. Lettering matches grandmother's old letters. Grandmother scratched my name on tin stake. Put it at edge of north field. Before I was born. Before my mother was born. At exact spot something has stood over 100 years. My 1995 name. On stake decades older. I asked if warning or welcome. I think registration. Someone long ago made list. Who this thing was owed. Who protected. Who waited for. Don't know which, don't know if difference. She still sees it. Winter. Dusk. Same position. Same stillness. What I've stopped doing is looking away fast. That was fear. Now I look until it's gone. Because if my name on stake, if this thing knew my name longer than I've lived, it already knows I'm here. Least I can do, let it know I see it too. Sometimes I think that's arrangement. Look, be looked at. That's all. Don't know if should terrify me or comfort me. Very quiet. Most days, it does both. 5 people, 5 experiences never fully told. Until now, collecting stories like these changes you. There's always moment. End of call. Person goes quiet. Not gathering words. Not nerves. Different quiet. Quiet of reaching part still alive. Still happening. Still going home with them after we hang up. I used to believe telling would lighten load, transfer weight. I don't believe that now. Some things don't transfer. You can describe perfectly, exact sound, exact figure, exact name scratched in tin. After all words, you still carry it. Only difference. Now someone else carries echo of it too. Burden of knowing it's real. That's what stays with me. Not stories, realness. If you carry something like this, something you've hidden because nowhere else feels safe, you can find me. I'm still here. Still reading, but I say what I say to everyone before they send. Once you put it in words, it's no longer only inside you. And some things, once out, don't slip back into dark so easily.